let's check it. Um, Hi everybody. Hi Autumn. I'm getting the YouTube side set up. Looks like we're in. All right. I'll just put our welcome to the closing ceremony. Ooh. Oh my goodness, I can type. Okay, cool. Um, Yay. Okay. All right, that is set up and ready to go. And Autumn's in the house. Welcome. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts about any of the interviews that you watched in the last few days? Did you have any favorites?
Well, I thought
Anything?
mine was fabulous.
I thought yours was fabulous too. Oh my gosh, that's too funny how the old one ended up being the one that got put on YouTube. I'm like, really? Really?
Hmm.
Ugh, I felt like Gremlins had just, but it's all good. It all happened the way it was meant to be.
I think so.
I have to remind myself that 100 times. Oh, I think her name what? Oh, Doctor. Okay, there were two. So there was Dr. Mona Ali this morning, and oh my gosh, her story is okay. And then there's Dr. Kati Rasanen. And I just have to say something about Dr. Mona. She sent me her bio, and I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And then in the first 2 minutes, she tells me how she was like basically given a death sentence. If like she was supposed to live maybe 4 to 6 more months. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, whoa, that needed to be in your bio, girl. I still haven't told her. But yeah, that was wow. She just blew me away. They all did. They all had something really powerful to give. And it's so funny now that I've been doing all this work on refining what my messaging is and stuff, I see the thread weaved through all of the interviews. I'm like, no way. That was pretty cool. So, oh, Dr. Mona was great. Yes, hi, Julie and Linda over there on YouTube where you've been hanging out with me for the last 5 days. Like they've come to every single one.
Wow.
Yeah, they're awesome. Hi, Linda and Julie. If you want to hang out with us, Linda's laying was like butter. Oh yeah, she does have quite the voice. Yeah, people love her meditations. If you two would love to join us in Zoom, you're welcome, unless, you're just happy hanging, and in that case, I won't ask you to. Hey, I'll listen here. Oh, hey, Celestiana. Yay! They're there. How cool. But again, your Zoom wouldn't open. Wait a minute. How did you try? No. What I noticed was links wouldn't open when I put them in Facebook Messenger chats. That you had to learn how to work it. But usually on phones, it works through email. Why wouldn't Zoom open? Ugh. I'm sorry, Julie. Huh. You're in two places at once. Nice. Alrighty. Cool. Hi, everybody. So we're 5 minutes in. Benjamin's here with us. Yay! So I'll just get started. So first of all, welcome, and wow, it's been a very full 5 days. That is for sure. A lot of calling in and embodying peace, and they were all wonderful. And if you remember, at the end of the welcoming ceremony, my guides had me guide you through a little energy exercise where we connected in with our heart spaces, invited our whatever divine being wanted to fill us with their presence that would serve our highest and best good. That's what came in. And then we went into that clearing with the fire ring and gathered together in circle. And that circle's been intact this whole time. And they had me actually check in with it just before I came on. And the energy is very different. You know, in the opening, it's like this anticipatory like excitement, like we don't know what's going to happen, but we're open and it's going to be great. And now it's this really grounded, deep, present energy, which is really, really cool. So it's like it did its job, which is yay. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, but it's all good. So we're now, so you're invited. Well, first of all, I'll let you know that the circle, the container that I opened up at the beginning is still intact. I I tuned in with them before I came on, and they're like, "Yes, Laura, we've kept it intact the whole time. Not a big deal." It's like, "Thank you." So they've been holding the container for us while we've been working through these 5 days. And so for a recap, I stand in the center of a medicine wheel and I call in Raphael, Brother Eagle, and benevolent ancestors in the east, Archangel Michael, Sister Horus, benevolent ancestors in the south, Archangel Gabriel, Sister Al, benevolent ancestors in the west, and Archangel Uriel, Brother White Buffalo, and benevolent ancestors in the north. And then Archangel Metatron from above, Archangel Sanaphon from below, Mama Bear to my left, Papa Wolf to my right. And they've had this container holding only energy of highest vibration and no, yeah, and benevolent intent. Yes, that's it. Um, and then guides, of course, who all are here to serve our highest good, are here as well, helping to strengthen and hold that container. And yeah, so you can tune into that if you would like, and then you can close your eyes and tune into that circle. Even if you weren't here when we set it up or didn't watch the recording, all you have to do is close your eyes, take in a deep breath, bring your attention down to your heart space, and then imagine a door. And you open the door, and there's this grassy, open area, kind of like a park ringed with some trees. And there's a fire circle, and we all gathered around the fire circle, and we're there. And the cool thing about this is these are the higher selves and physical being presences from all time who come and join this and watch this even into the future. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, you can just tune into that and feel into that energy. If you can't feel it, that's okay too. If all you feel is like if all you do is like feel peace or calm, that's it. That's it. And it's very real and it's very present. And so here we are in Sacred Circle. So fortunately Benjamin I was a little worried about this, and then I talked with Benjamin again, and I'm like, oh, that's right, he covered this. But we a lot of our speakers talked about how they access inner peace, but Benjamin's the one who talked about how it can impact the global awakening and the global peace. And the key is get into inner peace, and then that will then help bring peace around the globe. And there's truth to that. Because it starts with us. And the other thing I remember mentioning at the opening ceremony was that I had asked my guides, is it wrong for me to, go into this space of New Earth when, like, just today in my neighboring state of Minnesota, two legislators were killed this morning? And it's real, the stuff that's happening around us is real. And it felt almost like an escape. And they are like, no, it's not. It's not, it's not, it's not. Because when we really, not the escapism, but really call in and embody the peaceful presence of our higher self, then we are bringing that in for everyone. And so when we are in that space of new earth, we are calling that in to be everyone's reality, not just our own. This isn't selfish. This is the most loving and unselfish thing we can do for the world. So happy to have that reassurance. All right. So, what we're going to do today is bring this full circle. And we've done all this work on inner peace. And today we're going to tune into that, get into our embodied state of peace. And then Benjamin's going to guide us through a Halloween invocation to share it with the world. So we're going to do something really powerful today. Because that was the other thing I was thinking about today is how many, all these people from all over the country have been gathering to protest. And what what I got to thinking about is I was often judged for my inner work by people saying you're not doing anything. And how many times are we told, you got to do something? You're not doing anything. Because we're kind of trained to only look at outer expressions of um, activity, but really it starts with our own energy that then leads to actions, human actions that will be effective. And so I was thinking, man, everybody's out there protesting, and I'm here working on inner peace. And they're like, yeah, because that's equally as important and equally as powerful as what others are doing. So, in that spirit, we are going to, the intention today is to do this work not only for ourselves, but for our neighbors and our world. So, let us first, ooh, I have a lot of activity going on in the YouTube side. So, let's I'm gonna, oh wow, I've got chats everywhere. Okay, so let's hear from everybody. Um Inner work is much safer and less likely to get you on some sort of list. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yes, yes, yes. And I think too, though, some of our souls have contracted to do the very public work of speaking truth to power publicly. And so the inner work that they do for themselves protects them so that they can do their mission, but also the inner work we do for ourselves can support them in their mission. So I think that's important too. Okay, so it says we have the host, we've let the host know you're here. Isn't that interesting? I wonder if and I didn't try it again from all the different angles. I enjoyed them as they were all inspiring. They've been talking about not being able to get into Zoom. That's what I'm like deciphering. Okay, so hi, ladies. Good point. Thank you, Julie. All right, I think we're caught up. If there's anything anybody else wants to say before we do the energy work, the floor is yours. That's part of the reason why we're doing this is to get interaction from everyone who's participating. So I'll give you a moment if you want to share something, and then we'll get into the energy work. I experienced in my sleep wake state embodiment of maximum peace, and I felt the peace. Oh, wow. That's awesome, Linda. Well done. Well done. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. And the cool thing is, at first, I couldn't feel too much. Not because I didn't have the ability to feel it, but because I was pretty burdened, very heavily burdened. There's the word, heavily burdened with trauma symptoms that were getting in the way. So as I cleaned up that by healing my wounded parts, then I started feeling the energy better. But also, that's part of the like recipe for this. But the other part is practice, 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 practice. Every musician and actor and other people who have to memorize things or practice something for performance knows practice, 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 practice. And the reason is well, I hadn't even thought of this, but someone explained to me, well, yeah, you're building muscle memory. Oh, yeah, I guess I am. Didn't ever think of it that way. But but the idea here is the more that you practice this, at first it's harder and you can maybe can only sense it in a like that hypnagogic state, but the more you do it, the more you're going to be able to feel it like all the time. For instance, in the beginning I had to get really quiet to feel it, and I had to call it in and sit and wait. And then after doing it for a few months, all I had to do was breathe. Breathe into my heart space, and there it was. So yeah, the more you do it, the faster you can do it. And then even when you're in public places or even in a stressful situation, you can call on it and it's there for you. So that's the other reason why we practice, so that it's available to us in any situation. I mean, yeah, sometimes it can get like when I'm sick, it's a lot harder to do, but yeah, if I'm stressed out, it's like, oh, after I get over being stressed out, it's like, oh, yes, I need to get back into my peaceful state, and then I can do it. Cool. Thank you, Celestiana. It's wonderful to have another musician. By the way, Benjamin's also a musician. He plays the guitar and is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It is gorgeous. There are times where I'm like, just play the guitar. Just play the guitar. It'll just soothe me like nothing else will.
Mm.
And Alice is in the house. Welcome, Alice. All righty. Okay. Let's close our eyes. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Remember. Okay. So, talking a little bit, the title of this is Peace as a Present Possibility. And I wanted to speak to that a little bit because um I know that I mean there are days when I'm like, yeah, right. Peace on earth, a present possibility. But then there are moments where I get it and I can see through past the human and into the divine. It's like, right, got it. And then I just bring it back into the human. Um, but I also know that there are people on this earth, in this country included, for whom peace on earth is a present reality. So it's here, it's been here, and it's available to all of us. And the more we hold to that, and this is the point of doing this, calling and embodying peace, is, at first it was if we all called in embodied peace together, we could change the world. And that is true. But then it also became clear the more we really get into the practice of doing this so that we embody peace more fully every day, that gets us closer. That's kind of like the starting gate. That's the way into this. The more we do this, the easier it is to be able to tap in and tune into the energy of peace on earth. And when you can tap into that, then you're calling it in closer to where we are now. And we're doing it for the world. And what often happens for me when I'm introduced to a new energy is the challenges come. It's like, okay, I've gotten used to it by now. So it's like, all right, bring it on. Um, yeah. And so there will be challenges because not people like to interpret it as the universe tests us. I don't think it's that way. I think it's just when you are tuning to new divine frequencies, higher frequencies, it's going to naturally bring up the stuff that needs to be released for you to be able to move into that next frequency. So I just see it as a matter of course. It's, you clear the stuff that gets in the way, or you clear the stuff that's now ready to be released because you're moving into this new frequency, and then you move into it. And there's always something better on the other side. I have learned this now because I've done it quite a few times now. The first time I wasn't so sure. Um, but yes, but yes. So I've just learned that that's just kind of what comes with the territory. So don't be concerned if suddenly something shows up and you're like, where the heck did this come from? It's just there to be released, which is why Benjamin gave us the healing invocation
Oh,
so that we can clear stuff. Yes. Hi, Steve. Did you need to say something? Okay. Autumn says, Laura, you got the Peace on Earth Christmas song in my head. Fair. Well, maybe that's your higher self saying, hey, tune into that, and that's how you're going to tune into that frequency. That's a thought. Okay. All right. So Yes, peace on earth is a present possibility. It can become a present reality. And this is the way in, is by starting with getting into that peaceful state. And the more that you call in peace, the deeper it gets, the more it raises you up, and the more real peace on earth becomes until it becomes your reality rather than a possibility. I hope that's clear. And Benjamin is moving energy for us. Thank you, Benjamin.
Happy to
Is there
help.
anything is there anything you would like to add?
I think you're making the points extremely well.
Well, thank you. I was I I have been reluctant to go here, but I think I think it is time, and I think I can do this in a way that isn't weird. Um this morning I got this idea in my head. Go read the Bible lesson. The Christian Science Church app puts out a weekly
Oh.
Bible lesson, and I read it periodically. Yeah, I should read it more often. I now understand why I should read it more often, and which I will do better. But the distractions try to come in to get me from doing it because I'm like, oh, but I've got to do this for the summit. And I got to do this for the summit, and they're like, no, this first. Okay, and it was the right thing to do because talking about how peace on earth can become a present possibility. This is a statement I have read since I was little because I've been reading Science and Health since I could read. And it was in the lesson, and I just wanted to share this. This is an idea that this book was published in the 1870s. So this statement has been around for a long time and a lot of people have prayed on it. And she says, it should be thoroughly understood that all men have one mind, one God and Father, one life, truth, and love. Mankind, meaning us, will become
Mhm.
perfect in proportion as this fact becomes apparent. War will cease, and the true brotherhood of man will be established. She caught the vision. She wasn't sure when this would become a reality. I think because of the work that she established, we have what we have today because of her discovery back then. And this truth is becoming a more a more present possibility, honestly. And I really do believe that the reason we're getting all these messages from our guides and the reason we have this hope, even in the face of all of this yuck, is because it is closer than it was over, let's see, 150 years ago. Oh my gosh, 150. Oh, 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 it is 150 years ago. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, and so that's just something I wanted to share. Yeah, and that's what I'm being called to share. So there we are. So, what are you feeling in the energy right now, Benjamin?
It feels very peaceful, very calm, very stable.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. Okay. So, oh, let's get back to, don't want to lose you guys. Like, get back. All right. Cool. I really am curious. What energy practice did you feel most aligned with, or you felt would be the most effective for you at this time? I have a couple. I mean, I do my embodied awakening practice because it's what I do, but I also know I like to change things up. So, um, let's see. A Sylvia's rest exercise. It's a very simple, it's a mindfulness practice. It's very simple, but it's very powerful. Um, I remember I really liked Seth's, but I think the one that's become the closest for me. Let me think. The inner sanctuary exercise from Linda Lang is very similar to the meditation that I do. So that felt very familiar. Let's see. Mona's. Exercise was good. Which one? I think it's the Hara. Yeah. Alana Haim's Hara exercise. It was different. I like when you lead through invocations. Well, thank you. Cool. That's good. Thank you, Autumn. That's lovely to know. All right. So, yeah, if the embodied awakening invocation works for you to call in an embodied piece, you are welcome to join us. My point is, if it's not, feel free to do the thing that works for you. But what we're going to do now is call in and embody our peaceful presence, the peaceful presence of our higher self or our soul or true self or whatever you want to call it. And the way Benjamin taught me to do it, that's worked for me, has been the embodied awakening invocation. Do you want to lead us through it?
Up to you. I'm happy to do it if you want me to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Can I give the little setup to it as well?
Of course.
Okay, good. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're
Okay,
coming through great.
excellent. Okay. So I invite everyone to, if it's safe, to close your eyes and just take a moment to become aware of how your body feels. And then if you have awareness of your energy body, that tingly vibe in and around you, just notice that as well. And so now just feel both the physical and energetic bodies as one thing. And you're just getting a baseline to have a starting point and a comparison point. In a moment, you're going to speak to your higher self. You're going to invite it to merge with your human self to the greatest extent that serves highest good. It's kind of like your ego. It's like your body's a car. Your ego moves to the passenger seat and your higher self drives. Your ego remains the boss. And if it doesn't like your higher self's driving or it just wants to drive again, it can just think itself behind the wheel. The higher self will step right out with no fuss and you're back like you were. So this is risk-free and reversible. So you can safely give it a try if you want to. The benefits of embodied awakening include there's more harmony, flow, ease, and grace. Everything you're responsible for, you can do more responsibly and more joyfully. Instead of having to figure things out so much mentally, your intuition works better. You just know what to do increasingly. And there's also full body euphoria. So lots of beautiful effects from embodied awakening. So let's go ahead and just very briefly, once again, just check on the feeling of your physical and energy bodies. Just check that baseline one more time. And let's talk to our higher selves and call it in. It's going to be an 8-word invocation. So I invite you to do this out loud if you can, silently if you must. So let's speak the following to our higher self. Maximum embodied awakening
Maximum embodied awakening
that serves highest good, please.
that serves highest good, please.
Please let the words go. And now the job of your human self is to just relax and be very, very passive, letting the energy come to you on its own. In fact, you might even be feeling it coming in the top of your head and soaking into your body. It's kind of like your body's a sponge and your higher self is water soaking in. When I say passive, you'll get the best outcome from this invocation if you do not do any of the following. Please, no effort, no willpower, no trying to make anything happen, no stopping anything from happening, and no deliberate visualizing or imagining. Just be really relaxed, let it come to you, be passive. If while you're doing this you get distracted, that's okay. But once you notice that, you can gently return your attention to feeling energy again. If distractions remain, if it's there's thoughts or images or anything else that is not awareness of your energy, it's okay. It's welcome too. You just don't focus on it. You keep gently returning focus to feeling that energy coming in. And if you can't feel energy, just feel your body. The final nuance that can really optimize the effectiveness of the embodied awakening invocation is to determine the least amount of effort needed to feel the incoming energy. So, knowing that whatever happens is fine, I invite you now to try out no effort at all. Please go to 0 and just be. By the way, this means you're not even trying to feel energy. You're just present. You're just existing. So just go to 0, and I'm actually going to be quiet for a moment to let you really feel that 0 effort level. Remaining at 0, notice if you're aware of the incoming energy at 0 effort without even trying. And if you are, then 0 is all you need. If you have totally lost awareness of the incoming energy, then start adding little tiny bits of effort, a little at a time, until you regain awareness of the incoming energy. The idea here, obviously, is to use the least effort that gives you that awareness. Any effort beyond that can actually just slow it down. So if 0 gets it done, fabulous. If you need a little bit of effort, that's perfectly just as fine. So find that optimal minimum effort level and just kind of hang with that. When you attain embodied awakening, 4 things will be true. So I'm going to give you the 4-item checklist to see if you're there. And just mentally give yourself a yes or no for each of these. And there's no right or wrong answers, just honestly, note where you're at. So at this moment, is there no mental chatter? At this moment, is there no challenging emotion? At this moment, are you peaceful? And is all this happening with no effort? Is it just holding itself? Once again, more quickly, the items are no mental chatter, no challenging emotion, peaceful, and effortless. If all that's true, you are 100% in embodied awakening. And even if you just had, improvement on some of those, movement toward embodied awakening is to be celebrated also. So awakening is not an on-off switch, it's an infinite spectrum. So any movement toward that is wonderful. So just notice where you're at with your embodied awakening. See if the state you're in right now is different than the comparison point we established a few minutes ago. Just compare the one to the other and see if it is different. And that should give us a chance to get there. So Laura, back over to you.
All right. Now that we're in embodied awakening, there is another step we can take to get into an even deeper level of peace, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to guide us into that?
What do you have in mind? There's a lot of ways to get there.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, the destination is, the merging with the piece of our higher self at its level.
Oh, all right, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what we just did brought the higher self to us in our physical bodies. And the cool thing about embodied awakening is that way you get to be awakened all day, no matter what you do. That is, have it 24/7. But you can also take a little trip out of your body and actually go where your higher self is. It's like kind of like one level up. The higher self could be imagined as a big ball of beautiful, bright white light, and it feels like bliss, ecstasy, and euphoria. So to get there, take a moment and notice any peacefulness you feel now. So just
My higher
notice any.
self's already taking me there.
Well, you go ahead. You kind of blaze the path for us there. That's great.
Like, oh boy, I haven't even
Just
said a
notice
word
the
yet.
peacefulness you're feeling now. And we're going to invoke union with the higher self. And by the way, this you're in a safe container. Your body, your physical body is going to be perfectly safe while you go take a visit upstairs. So it's all cool. So so now do the following invocation to go to your higher self. Say maximum union
Maximum union
with my higher self
with my higher self
at its level
at its level
that serves highest good please.
that serves highest good please.
This or something better.
This or something better.
Okay, now relax and let the words go. Become passive. And again, notice any peacefulness that you feel. And your thing that your human's going to do now is simply to feel that peacefulness. Just notice it, relax into it, enjoy that peacefulness. And since the higher self is super peaceful and the peacefulness you're feeling actually comes from it anyway, just relaxing, feeling the peace just as it is will naturally transition you into union with your higher self because you asked for that. So just feel the peacefulness, be really passive, and there will be this magical, gradual transition to uh, kind of hanging out with it at its level. It's really important not to try to make it happen. Don't, try to move yourself or imagine yourself there. Just feel peacefulness. The invocations that I share are all about delegating the work to your higher self or your allies and letting them do it for you. So just feel peacefulness. Mm.
Mhm.
Using the least effort needed to feel that peacefulness completely. Make it easy. When you did you want to say something, Laura?
Yeah, what just came to me was if you're trying because you think you're doing it wrong, you're not.
Good point.
Um, yeah, it's something that you just kind of let go. What I meant when I said it's already started is I could suddenly feel like me expanding. Now I'm used to my energy expanding. I was used to feeling my energy expand even before I learned these invocations. But it's when you tune into this energy, it's outside of your body. So you start feeling your conscious awareness move toward away, beyond the edges of your body. That's what I mean by expansion. Is suddenly I could just feel my consciousness, my energy move beyond like they went like a few inches left and right of my arms. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
nice.
Here we go. So, it can just happen really naturally. But even hit, this is another thing, even if you think you aren't feeling it, because another thing is it may be that some stuff needs to be cleared first before you can really feel it. And that's okay. But you can feel the effects of it, even if you can't feel your energy. So don't worry, don't be go looking for it or grabbing for it. Just relax into it. Um, I never knew this because I never had problems floating on water. But a friend of mine explained she couldn't float on her back. I'm like, really? And so there are teachers who have figured out what it is you have to do to be able to float on your back so they could teach it to people who couldn't float. And she said, yeah, what you have to do is you have to completely relax, meaning you have to just release all tension in your body because if it in any part of your body, if you tense up, you start to sink.
Mm,
I was like, isn't that interesting? And it's the same concept here. If you can just relax and just, let your body just kind of melt. I people would say melted butter, and that makes no sense to me. But I could connect with the feeling of floating. And
mm,
so I engaged all my senses to remember times when I would float in my pool to help my body remember how that happened. And then that's how I learned to relax into energy, to relax into spirit. And then it worked. So it's about just relaxing as much as you can. And it's not about necessarily feeling energy. You will eventually. You're going to feel it in your own way. You might see it, you might hear it. For me, it's kinesthetic, so I feel it more. But what you can feel is peace. And if you can feel a little more peaceful, you've done it. You're there. That's great. That's all you need. I hope that helps.
yeah,
Did that help relax the field a little?
I think it did.
Good.
Yeah. When I work with clients who don't have a lot of energy sensitivity yet, I tell them, hey, if you're even just like Laura said, if you're feeling peaceful, if you're feeling a little more calm, a little more relaxed, that is your current awareness of the divine energy.
Yeah.
So even that is evidence that it's working.
Yep.
And feels to me like we got a nice, most of us are in that higher self and enjoying that floatiness. And when you're in the higher self, the the qualities are there's again the ones I mentioned earlier. There's no mental chatter, there's no challenging emotion. It's peaceful and it's effortless. And the reason it's the same experience as when your higher self comes to you is because it's your higher self. Whether you're hanging out at its level or it's coming to you, the effects are pretty much the same in the way I just described them. The difference when you're in the higher self level is you can be aware of yourself as a pure energy being, and there's no boundary. It's like you try to go out and find your edge, and there isn't one. At least that's my experience of it. You're just pure energetic consciousness. And it's worth mentioning that this is a more authentic, long-lasting you. The human part of you is the most temporary. In a lot of ways, it's the least real part of you because a human comes and goes in a few decades. It's like a rent-a-car. But that energy you, the higher self, I mean, that by human measurements will go on for billions of years. So the human is a blip, the higher self is a much more constant presence. So it's nice to get to know the part of you that is going to be around a lot longer than your human part will.
There's that, yes.
Yeah.
But I also know that I talked to my soul once, and my soul was like, here's the thing. We need to incarnate from time to time
Hmm.
to soften because when you're pure consciousness, when you don't have a body, you're just pure consciousness. And pure consciousness doesn't feel, they don't feel emotions because you need a body to
Hmm.
feel emotions. There's energy. Peace is an energy. Love is an energy. But then we can experience those divine energies as emotions, as physical sensations in our body that then we interpret as emotions. And so, yeah, you can get kind of disconnected from humanity when you're just pure consciousness for a few centuries. So, so it's like, yeah, we have to incarnate periodically. So, even though the body's temporary, it is so loved and so appreciated and so just from a soul perspective, it's the most precious, beautiful, wonderful thing. It's to be in a body. So
Hmm.
yeah, our higher self does move forever and does is, eternal. Um, but but still the human body is precious. So that's why I was taught to go outside of my body to connect with spirit for so long, but it was just in 2023 when my higher self dropped into my body. That was the first time that happened for me. And that's where we're moving towards is we're wanting to be embodied because we need to our divinity needs to be embodied. And so
Yeah.
So yes, yes. So it's really important to connect with that energy and really get to know that energy as intimately as possible. But it's even more crucial when you can connect with that energetic part of you to bring it to the body, which is what we always do at the end, every time,
Mhm.
because that's important. So we're going to hang out here for a little bit longer. And tuning into a teacher of mine taught me this. She could tune into the energy of all the people she would work with in a class. So she would set up the container like a day or two before we'd meet. And so she connected with us all energetically before connecting with us physically. So in that spirit, I oftentimes connect with the higher self or energetic aspects of ourselves who aren't just physically present, but those who would like to be here or will be watching the recording, um, at any time in the future or the past, because time was weird that way. But so yeah, so we're actually energetically tuning into more energetic presences than just those who are physically here with us today, which is kind of cool. And so yeah, we're going to hang out here for a little bit and just connect with one another in this energetic space. And then we're going to do the hollow read and share this beautiful peace energy that we've cultivated with the rest of the world. That's the game plan here. Oh, that's so interesting. Autumn saying, it's funny because I have a hard time relaxing enough to float, but I often feel like I'm floating when I do the embodied awakening. Interesting. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of us floating. We have a flotilla.
But yeah, the other reason for doing this is not just because it's fun to float and it's fun to connect with the peacefulness of our higher self, but it's also because we can do, we can connect with our power when we connect with our energetic selves. And that's where we can have the most impact in the world. And that's the reason we're doing this is to connect in with this so that we can tune into it and then share it with the world. So I just wanted to bring that out. So when you sense that it's time to move to that next step, I defer to you, Benjamin.
Okay. Well, it feels to me like we're well established at this higher self level.
Okay,
So this would be a good moment to be the conduit. And it may feel like this is coming through at the higher self level or the human level. Just let the energy flow wherever it wants to flow from.
yep,
Your higher self will, and your allies will take care of all this. So, um, so we're going to be the conduit for the maximum peacefulness on planet Earth that serves highest good. Is that a good intention, Laura?
perfect.
Okay, all right. So just take a moment, feel how you feel right now. Just once again, getting a baseline. And to your higher self and your allies of divine love and light, say, please flow the peacefulness through me
Please flow the peacefulness through me
to all beings on planet Earth
to all beings on planet Earth
in whatever way serves them best,
in whatever way serves them best,
to the greatest extent that serves highest good,
to the greatest extent that serves highest good,
this or something better.
this or something better.
Okay, that's all the words. Now, please just relax and just chill out, be passive. And we, the humans, the personalities are not flowing it. We're just relaxing. We're like a passive piece of pipe. And it's the divine intelligence flowing that peaceful energy through us to all the beautiful beings on earth who can benefit from it. So just relax. Uh, you might or might not feel energy coming through you. It typically comes in the top of the head, not the front of the body, and then as many different rays will go out and go to whatever beings will best be helped by this energy. The divine allies are really smart. They know exactly who to send it to and in what ways. So we humans don't have to figure out any of that. We just have to relax and be willing to be a good pipeline. So let's just relax and let that energy flow all by itself. As before, there's no effort, no willpower, no trying to make anything happen, no deliberate visualizing or imagining. Just relax and let yourself be a good conduit. Because the universe likes to give as good as it gets. You may notice yourself having some shifts of consciousness as this comes through, perhaps a deeper awakening, just because you're being of service in this way. And of course, allow that if it wants to happen. I just felt a lovely shift of energy. So typically when that happens, it's because the people in the event I'm involved with have made a shift. So it's a little deeper awakening, a little more awareness of yourself as a being of energy, kind of a level deeper. So if you're having that experience, just enjoy it. And if you're not, that's okay too. I'm typically aware of what most people in an event are doing. But if your experience is different, that's perfectly fine. Just let it be what it is. And it feels to me like we just came to a beautiful stillness point. So, so anyone who's having an awareness of themselves sort of in a blended field, just enjoy that, or whatever your experience may be, just kind of be there with it. And the last thing I'll mention here is sometimes when you start, it's like there was a flow of energy through you to something else, but sometimes you sort of merge with the thing you're flowing to, and the experience is less about energy flowing from one place to another and more about I am the thing I was blessing, and I can no longer tell the difference between me and the recipient, and it all becomes just one beautiful field. So some of y'all may be experiencing that right now. Over to you, Laura.
Alrighty. It's interesting because I was being called back to check in, tune into the circle that was formed at the beginning that I checked in on today, and it's like all of us are in the circle and our energy is being poured into the center, and And then they showed me like the earth in the center, or
Hmm.
it was kind of cool. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Yeah, it's been an interesting little journey. But yeah, so here we are calling in peace on earth to all who are open to receive it and supporting them in the way that best serves their highest good in the moment to that end. Let it be so. And now it is time to bring, yes, the circle to a close. So, what we're going to do is bring this beautiful energy that we've been sitting in and bring it back to our present reality so that we can embody this more fully in our day to day. Do you want to do that or shall I?
Oh, why don't you?
Alrighty. So, what I like to do when we're out in this higher realm stuff is to bring it back to the higher self level. So, simply repeat after me. Please bring these divine energies
Please bring these divine energies,
to the higher self level.
the higher self love.
And then it kind of comes closer. Like, ah, okay. Ah. All right. And then I like to do Spirit that I am, Divine Allies.
Spirit that I am, divine alliance.
Please integrate the spiritual and physical bodies
Please integrate the spiritual and physical body
to the greatest extent
to the greatest extent
that serves highest good.
that serves highest good.
This or something better. Thank you.
This or something better. Thank you.
And I can feel that. And then if you want to seal the deal a bit and make this your new normal, you can simply say, please make this my new normal
Please make this my new normal
to the greatest extent that serves highest good
to the greatest extent that serves highest good
until something better.
until something better.
And there we go. I keep getting this term sinking into permanence. I'm like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay. All right. So if you'd like to use your imagination again and just kind of tune into this image of a circle with people gathered in a clearing with a fire pit in the middle, or kind of holding hands energetically, physically. Ah, there we are. And here we are. We've been through a journey, and the journey has now come to an end. But this is simply the closing of a chapter, and certainly not the end, because, we go on for a long time. So, but for this chapter, it's come to a close. And so I thank our allies and the archangels and my helpers and all of you and all of your higher selves for coming together and working together to call and embody peace for ourselves and for the world. And I thank you for your service. And the container is now closed. And so we can all there walk away from the circle and to our lives. And thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight and thank everyone for coming on this journey with me this week. And I want to invite you to an integration circle that I'm holding on Wednesday, the 18th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And we'll meet for about an hour to an hour and a half. And it's going to be a top opportunity to reflect and integrate and process our experiences together in a safe circle. And yeah. And so I invite you to come join me. Someone did this for an event that I was at a few years ago, and it was so helpful and powerful that I just wanted to offer that to you because it's so great. So you're welcome. And thank you. And many blessings. And we have 24 more hours to watch, like, it's 48 hours for every video. So we've got another day or so to watch these last few videos and get caught up if you want, and to watch this opening ceremony until it all closes around Monday morning. So that was very intense in a good way. Well, I'm glad, Autumn. Yes, energy where it can be intense, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. So thank you for saying that. And thank you, Benjamin. This was beautiful.
Oh, I'm really honored that you asked me to come be part of this final event. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right. So good night, everyone. And until we meet again. Bye.